Loving a gangster despite the risks, loss, and loneliness, this is a love story of a girl who let herself into despair. Was it her fault? She madly loved this gangster. Amidst heavy rain, a car stands alone. In this car, a man named Usman hands a gun to the woman sitting next to him. Her voice quivers as she speaks. She wishes to be put to eternal sleep if she gets caught. She runs out of the building after shooting someone. As she runs down the stairs, the man she shot manages to take aim at her, and she falls off the rails. In a single frame, both lie bleeding. An ambulance siren can be heard as both of them are rushed to the hospital. The man is shot on his back while the woman is shot on her shoulder. Her eyes hold the sadness and regret she is feeling. As she lies on the operation table, she glances at the watch. As she counts her last breaths, she asks life not to betray her this time. She yearns for the happiness she never had in her life. She wants to live till sunrise as it seems she is waiting for something to happen. Still talking to life, she asks why she didn't die the day she stood at the crossroads. We are then taken to a flashback somewhere in Seoul. The woman's name is Simran. Simran is seen standing on a boat that is dangerously swaying. She is wasted. With fireworks in the background, she laughs her heart out as her friend, Akash, tries to keep her from falling into the water. She hurls the bottle into the water and while doing so, falls in two. Akash jumps into the water to save her from drowning. The next day she wakes up with Akash sleeping next to her bed. She gently runs her finger in his hair, in the process waking him up. She apologizes for creating trouble for him yet again. Akash chides her for putting herself in danger. He deeply cares for her. Simran confesses that she doesn't care about her life, but after a long time, she has found somebody who is willing to look after her. Akash feels she is hiding something inside her that she keeps from coming out by drowning herself in alcohol. However, when he asks her about it, she changes the topic and asks him to take her home. Simran doesn't let Akash know where she lives as every time he drops her, she gets down on a random street and walks home from there. But she assures him everything is fine and he doesn't need to worry. He invites her to the lounge in the evening, where he is a singer. She agrees to come and starts walking home. Akash pretends to leave, but he parks his bike a few yards away and starts following Simran, his curiosity getting the best of him. He follows her to a blind curve but soon loses her from sight as she disappears. Simran knew he was following her, so she hid. As she reaches home, she hears the telephone ringing. She ran to pick it up as if she was expecting someone's call. The man on the other end of the line is Daya. He asks her if she drank again, but instead of answering, all she asks is when he will come back home. He doesn't answer. She loses her cool and starts yelling at him that she has been very lonely, she can't see or contact him, and all she can do is wait for his call, which comes once in a blue moon. Every time she talks to him, she feels apprehensive that this might be the last time she might hear his voice. She desperately cries as she says these things to him. Daya too feels as his eyes well up, but he keeps a sturdy voice and assures her that he wouldn't die without meeting her first. He tells her that he will be leaving for Dubai the next day and hangs up after he asks her to take care. The portrait on the wall reveals that Daya is her lover with whom she has had a child. After he hangs up the call, he kisses Simran's picture on his phone, showing how much he loves her. Daya is a gangster and is involved in dangerous activities that put his life at constant risk. He keeps changing his location due to the high risk involved, thus leaving Simran on her own. She constantly worries for his safety. Daya is in Mauritius. He enters a club and single-handedly shoots all the gangsters dead. Simran drinks again. She cannot control herself as this is the only way she doesn't feel the hollowness in her heart. Drinking makes her forget her loneliness. She wipes a tear off and gets ready to go to the club to see Akash perform. Outside she may look fine, but on the inside, she is craving Daya's presence. Simran doesn't understand why she keeps coming back to Akash, probably because he fills the void she has in her life. During his performance, she is taken back to the time she first met him in the same club a month ago. That night she got too drunk even to walk and collapsed on the sidewalk. Akash found her and took her to his apartment. And that was how they first met and then became friends. Since then, he has always been there, never leaving her side. After the performance, Akash walks to the table where Simran is sitting. He asked her how she liked his song as he sang it for her. She dismisses the flirtation politely. Suddenly she gets a glimpse of the man named Raghavan, who shot dead her son in a shootout with Daya. Overwhelmed by emotions, she starts to leave. Akash tries to stop her, but she leaves anyway. He tries to look for her, but she is long gone. Back at her home, Simran drinks more. The tragic loss of her son and the constant fear that she is going to lose Daya is too much for her to take. It has made her an alcoholic to the extent that she rummages through the dumpster, trying to find more alcohol when she has no more left in her home. In the process, she locks herself outside her house. Nowhere to go, she starts wandering around aimlessly, bare feet in the cold. She walks dangerously close to the high-speed traffic. She ends up at Akash's place and asks him for whiskey. They sit together on the roof. Simran asks Akash why does he love her so much when she clearly is a mess. Akash asks her to come with him, but Simran denies. She slowly starts to open up to him. She tells him that the night of his performance could have been her last night as a free person if Raghavan had seen her. He works for the Indian intelligence. She confides in Akash about the reason she drinks so much. She tells him how she fell in love with the most wanted criminal in India and consequently became an accomplice, and how she lost her son when she and her son were caught in a crossfire between Raghavan and Daya. The scene then shifts to the time when she first met Daya. He was being chased by the police when he ran inside a house to hide. Their first meeting was nothing short of love at first sight. Daya barged in the door, pointing his gun towards Simran. His eyes fixated on hers as she tried to stop the leaking tap. It creates a water shower, and both of them get drenched, neither of the two breaking their gaze. Suddenly the police arrive and tap on her door. She opens the door for them, but they find no one and soon leave. As soon as they leave, Daya comes out of her closet. He is about to leave when Simran stops him, saying the police might still be outside. She offers him her place for the night. Daya is captivated by her benevolence and beauty. He obeys her and sits on a chair in a flooded room. He catches glimpses of her as she cleans the water from the floor. He decides to help and starts cleaning the floor with her. Later, Simran learns that the man she just saved is a gangster, but she doesn't care. All she saw was an emptiness in his eyes, the same as hers. He left the next day without saying anything. Simran couldn't get the strange man out of her mind. After a month, he came back, but she wasn't home. After inquiring from the neighbors, he came to the dance bar where she worked as a dancer. He then started visiting the bar often. He would take the same table every time and would not sit facing her directly. Instead, he would face the mirror and stare at her reflection. Daya was different from other people because when he looked at her, she saw reverence, unlike other people's lustful eyes that penetrated her as she danced for them. Daya never spoke to her until, one day, seeing her being manhandled burned him inside, and he did not think twice before smashing wine bottles on the manhandler's head. He then grabbed her hand and pulled her out of the bar. The first word he ever spoke to her was home. For her, Daya felt like home, warm and safe. He took her to his house. They soon started their new life together. One day she got to know what she had got herself into. Raghavan charged at their home, eliminated one of Daya's men. A shootout broke, and Daya got shot in the shoulder. Somehow they managed to escape. Since that day, they have been on the run, constantly changing places. One day Daya's boss visits them. He is very unhappy because Daya was the bravest of all his men who didn't flinch when faced with death. But after Simran came into his life, he has been on the run and his work has hampered. His boss doesn't approve of this and threatens to eliminate Simran. When Daya loses his cool and points his gun at his boss, everybody is stunned to see him turn against his own people. Daya's boss breaks all ties with him and says he is on his own from now before leaving. They were going to leave the country. For that, they needed a family. Simran thought all her dreams would come true once they left. A loving husband, a beautiful child, and a happy family. Daya loved her dearly and never touched her. They even adopted a child and named him Bidu. Even though he was not her biological son, she loved him like his own mother. Though Daya and Simran never married, they lived like a happy family. Daya was changing too. He couldn't bear to see his son getting hurt. A man who eliminated people for living in his previous life now felt uneasy seeing blood oozing from his son's injured knee. The day they were leaving for Dubai came soon. As they made their way to the airport, Raghavan, along with his team, followed them. Simran was scared for her son's safety, but Daya promised to protect him with his life. A horrific shootout took place. Daya managed to get Simran and Bidu in his car and drove off. But destiny has some other plans. Bidu was put to eternal rest. Even as Simran recalls that moment, seeing her son take his last breath in her hands, she wails. She sleeps on Akash's lap that night. He couldn't bear to leave her alone in this state. The next day he drops her at her home. This time she doesn't deceive him but lets him come all the way to her home. After listening to her life story, he can relate to each of the members, as he looks intently at the family portraits hanging on the wall. He tries to convince Simran that life has given her another chance to fulfill her dream of being a happy family. He takes her hands in his and promises to make her dream come true. He confesses that he has fallen deeper in love with her, especially after listening to her story. She gives into her emotions, and they are about to kiss when something in them stops them. Akash steps out of her house to calm his racing heart but returns the next instant. They both know they want it and have waited enough to fulfill this burning desire, which then leads them to share a passionate kiss. She had found the love she thought she had lost forever. Akash and Simran share intimate moments. She is building a new relationship with him, and in doing so, she forgets that her ex-lover is still out there somewhere, trying to reach out to her. She stops picking up his call, which makes Daya furious that he takes out his anger on the receptionist of the hotel he is staying in. One morning Akash leaves Simran's house after spending the night. He is leaving when Simran calls out that he forgot his wallet. He comes back and leaves after kissing her goodbye. As she turns to go inside, she is shocked to see Daya standing there. He has seen everything and is looking furious. Back in the present, she is lying on the operation table and turns to look at her victim, when his monitor stops beeping and shows a straight line indicating that he is no more. After her bullet is taken out, she is shifted to another room. After everyone leaves, she takes out the tubes and her oxygen mask and tries to find a way out. She has flashbacks of the day Daya caught her cheating on him with Akash. Daya had beaten up Akash after he had left her house. After seeing Daya standing before her, she feels embarrassed and goes in to put on some clothes. Daya doesn't say anything to her. Instead, he follows Akash. Simran knows Daya will not spare Akash, so she runs after him. Daya does precisely what she fears. He picks up one of the roadside stands and beats Akash with that. He then brings the whole crate filled with beer bottles and smashes Akash's head. Daya steps on him and starts kicking him, stopping only when Simran intervenes. Daya drags her back to the house, but she frees herself from his grip and runs back to Akash, but he is gone. Simran is enraged at Daya's behavior. She slapped and beat him, saying he had no right to raise his hand on Akash. She accuses him of leaving her alone when she needed him the most. After the death of their son, she thought Daya would change, but she was wrong. She finally gets to speak her heart to Daya and tell him how she has suffered with him her entire life, and now that she has found her happiness, he is destroying that too. She tells him that it was Akash who had been by her side when Daya left her, and she was all alone. Daya has had enough. He slaps her hard across her face, making her fall to the ground. When he realizes he has hurt the love of his life, he tries to help her get up, but she pushes him aside and runs into her house. Daya regrets raising his hand on her and cries. He tries going inside to placate her but decides against it. Instead, he waits for her outside the entire night, giving her time to calm down. In the morning, he goes inside and finds her sitting on the bed. He kneels in front of her and asks for her forgiveness. He assures her that he has changed and is ready to leave the life of crime for her. But if she leaves him now, he will not be able to survive. Somewhere deep down inside, she still has feelings for Daya. She is about to say something when the phone rings. It is Usman, Daya's confidant. He cannot speak, but the urgency in his mumbles makes Simran believe something is wrong. Suddenly they hear sirens outside and an entire police force surrounding the area. Raghavan is on to Daya again. Simran closes the door and urges Daya to run. But Daya doesn't want to. Only when the police start firing, Daya runs with Simran. They manage to get out of the house and run down the street to the main road, where Usman hijacks a car and rescues them from the police. Once again, they are on the run. Usman leaves them once they reach outside the city. While walking over the bridge, Daya tosses his gun into the river. It is his time to redeem himself. They rent out an old shack and start their life afresh. Just in a matter of a day, everything went topsy-turvy for Simran and Akash. Simran and Akash still think about each other as they go about their lives. Daya has left his previous life and now does odd jobs to support Simran and himself. When Daya brings home the money he has earned doing hard labor, he hands it to Simran. She realizes Daya is putting effort into changing himself. Soon she finds out she is pregnant. She is worried because she doesn't want to bring a new life into the world where she is always on the run. Also, she fears that if Daya finds out she is pregnant with Akash's child, he will not accept her. Daya shares his desire to go back to his village in India. He wants to start afresh with her. But to do this, he has to forge their passports. He promises Simran that this will be the last time he resorts to illegal means. After that, he will never look back on his previous doings. Daya then leaves for Seoul to get the work done. Taking his absence as an opportunity, Simran calls Akash to tell him she is pregnant with his child. Akash wants to meet her, so she gives him the address. They meet in a park. Akash expresses his desire to marry her and raise his child in a safe environment, away from this place. But he lays down a condition that she will have to get Daya arrested for his own good. Akash rationalizes by saying that this way, she will save Daya from being shot dead by the police, which is inevitable if he keeps running like this. Simran is not willing to do this. Akash gives her a choice. Daya gets the passports made and is on his way back, when he sees a group of people singing songs in praise of God. He prays for the Almighty's blessings. But as soon as he opens his eyes, he sees his boss standing in front of him. The boss threatens to eliminate him for his betrayal. Daya pleads to let him go as he has decided to walk away from the world of crime and will never bother anybody anymore. His boss is not going to let him go that easily. He has made up his mind to eliminate Daya. He then provokes Daya by explaining how he will torture Simran after he puts him to eternal sleep. Daya still refuses to take the bait and tries to walk away, but the goons catch hold of him and start beating him mercilessly. Daya is barely conscious when Usman hands Daya a gun. Unaware of this, the boss snatches passports from Daya and throws them into the fire. Then he hugs his son one last time, and a shot is heard. In the turn of events, the boss gets eliminated as Daya shoots him. He then eliminates all the other men who beat him. He manages to retrieve the passports from the fire. Daya is badly injured. He calls Simran and asks her to meet him at Seoul Station at 10 p.m. They need to leave as soon as possible because the police are chasing him. Hearing this, Simran has made her choice. She waits for Daya at the station. Till midnight when he does not show up, Simran starts to leave. She stops when she hears Daya calling her name. She runs towards him seeing his horrid condition. Daya stumbles down the stairs as he can barely walk after being beaten up black and blue. Nevertheless, he is happy to see her and shows her the vermilion he has brought for her, indicating he is going to marry her. She holds an expression of guilt, which we soon understand why. She helped the police to arrest him. They are soon surrounded by police. There is nothing left for him as the only person he loved the most in the world betrayed him. He is dragged by the police as he cries. Nothing can be more hurting than being betrayed by the person for whom he gave up everything. Simran cannot forgive herself for what she has done to the person who loved her more than himself. She feels helpless and goes to see Akash. He is not home, so she calls the restaurant. The manager tells her that Akash waited for her all night, but when she didn't turn up, he left for the Indian embassy. Simran visits the embassy. She is walking in the corridor when she hears her voice. She follows the source and is shocked to see her recording from the day she confided in Akash and told him her story being played on a projector. What adds to her dismay is seeing Akash address this press conference. He was undercover all this while and merely used Simran to get the intel about the most wanted criminal, Daya. She feels disgusted that she trusted him and at his request, got the only person who truly loved her arrested. That day she gets drunk after a very long time of being sober. In her delirium, she lies on the sidewalk. Usman finds her and beats her for betraying Daya. She begs him to eliminate her, but he won't do that out of respect for Daya because she is a very important person to Daya. Even after knowing he will be hanged for his crimes, Daya sends her the passport he got for her and asks Usman to take her to his village, where she can spend her life in a safe environment. He also forgives her. Simran is devastated, feeling guilty for what she has done. She meets Daya one last time to ask for his forgiveness. That day she decides to take her revenge. Back in the first scene, she gets a gun from Usman to eliminate Akash for destroying her and Daya's life. Once she reaches his place, she shoots him without any hesitation. Her hate for him is so deep-rooted that she fires multiple shots at him. But this doesn't eliminate him instantly. He managed to fire one shot as retaliation, inflicting serious injury. Usman is also eliminated when he tries to rush to help Simran. Even though they could not be together in this life, they dream of being together in death. Knowing that they would be together, free of all the hate and miseries, they feel at peace in spite of having only moments to live. Somewhere far away, Simran unites with Daya and her son Bidu. No one can separate them now.